Good morning, Northwest Indiana. This is Veterans Views radio show on WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. We're a long-living radio show, about 17 years now. And, of course, this is developed by Hammond Victory Post 168. How long has Hammond Victory Post 168 been around?
Over 100 years.
Over 100 years, 100 years of history. Yeah. And, of course, some of the legends, Ernie, Dillon, Pat O'Donnell, they were there to open the door on day one. They've been around. We got a lot of legends in the area here, including one of our guests today, Tom Clark. Just a spiel of information we're going to give out to you. Now, I am Robert Rockwell. I'm a Chief Warrant Officer for the National Guard. And then we also have our co-host here, Commander Donna Ostrander.
Good morning.
Good morning. She's the Hammond Victory Post 168, the founder of our show's post commander, and she's got history in her family where her grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather ran the post for quite a while in the 70s, and then my grandmother ran the auxiliary.
That's absolutely awesome. And that's region history. We love that. We got Tom Clark to go a little more in depth on some of our history today. We also have Commander Bramer of DAV Chapter 17. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Purple Heart recipient, Iraq war veteran, good friend. He does so much for the veterans community and the disability, getting your paperwork signed up, getting you to the right place. And he's got a good rotation with him and the DAV all around Northwest Indiana to get you all the benefits that you deserve, need, and may not even understand that you should be inquiring about. So great show for you here today, and all of us bring our little bit of expertise. I am the Vice Post Commander of Post 66 in Griffith, as well as a DAV Chapter 17 member. And, of course, we are all represented as a volunteer force, just like our service and what we've done for our country, all veterans. And we come here live every Friday morning at 0900. That's 9 a.m. for you citizen soldiers out there that never got the wake-up call. We do more by 0900 than most do the whole day.
It's
the exception of Steve Bramer. He just woke up. He just got here. So, listen, I'm back from my 2-week training. Some people may call it, Army camp. But I tell you what, I got eaten up. I was in the woods, and it's 2 week. It was like a 14-day war, is what we say in the National Guard. No, just joking. I am back from it, and so I've been on hiatus for the last few weeks, and that is a part of my obligation. 1 weekend a month. I'm a weekend warrior. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer. And I tell you what.
It's different now, though. It's not just a weekend warrior.
Yeah, no, we're not like it was in the 90s. We were just sitting back drinking beer all weekend. We're getting after it. We're shooting and we're running. And we're actually, to Tom Clark's credit, and he's here today to show his expertise on this level, but between the Iraq and the Afghanistan war, the Army and Air National Guard and Reserve, I should quote out with the Navy Reserve, Marine Reserve, Army Reserve, accounted for about 70% of all deployed troops to those wars combined over that 20-year period. Accumulative. 70%. So a lot of people don't realize, hey, you're in the National Guard. Oh, cool. You do 1 weekend a month. You're weekend warrior. Well, how's that, Yeah. I was active duty, right? Well, okay. Well, guess what? 70% of the deployed troops in the last two major wars over the last 30 years have been reservists.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
You got to have a high level of respect for that. And our guest here, Tom Clark, I'll let you introduce yourself. You were a part of that as well, right? The Afghanistan push is the Army National Guard, correct?
Yeah, I kind of forced my way in.
He snaked his way in somehow.
Yeah. So, Tom, tell us what you're here for today, and of course, we love you. You're an honored guest, and we know that you've got a lot of great subject matter expertise on history, and that's a great part of this show, is we like to talk about history.
We want to start a new segment on the show where we highlight local veterans every week, one local veteran every week, and Tom has so much information on local veterans, and so, like I said, we're going to start a new segment where we talk about local veterans, and we'll pick one a week and go from there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So what do we got today, Tom?
Well, I have to start by saying I was a teacher at Lake Central. I started in 1982, and soon after it, I'm going to talk today about a boy named William Terrill Trent. He was a Marine that was killed in Vietnam. Sad to say, he can't be here to talk about what he did. It's a shame. But I had a young man in my class named Doug DeVries. He eventually became a teacher. And right at the end of the year, I think it was like 1984, 85, he questioned why we didn't have a plaque honoring the veterans from the school that had died in Vietnam. We had one from World War II, but not from Vietnam. And I told him, I said, I was relatively new. I said, I don't think anybody from this school died in Vietnam. And he didn't take that as an answer. He was really a go-getter. He's one of the best students I ever had. And he was a journalist for the newspaper, and he came to me with 2 names. And that was at the end of the year. I said, well, what we have to do, he was a junior, the next year, we need to look into this. Well, over the summer, I found 2 more names. So we had 4. And we got back together, and we had just started the honors history program at Lake Central. So I asked the students, I hate the word kids, students, if they would volunteer to research these 4. We didn't know what we were going to do. We were totally in the dark. And I had 7 volunteers. And as we started researching the 4, a 5th name came up. A man named Tom Hoffman, that was a police officer in Dyer, called and said, you forgot William Terrill Trent. And I had never heard this name. And I'm like, okay. So we started researching him. I called his sister. She lived in Cherville. And she talked about him. He was born in 1948, October of 48, in Georgia, in Columbus, Georgia. His family soon after that moved to Dyer, and he went to Dyer Central High School, which is now Lake Central High School. And he graduated there in 1966. Well, as I talked to her, I have to admit this, she told me he had received the Navy Cross, which is the nation's second highest award.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, and a Marine getting the Navy Cross, wow. And I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought she meant the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry. And I didn't say anything to her, but I think she could kind of tell by the tone of my voice my doubt. She came over to the school with the citation for the Navy Cross, and I almost fell off my chair.
Wow.
I'm like, I can't believe that this area, this school had a huge hero of the Vietnam War that received the Navy Cross, and nobody knew about it. So we started doing everything we could, and this gets crazy. We decided to have a ceremony. This is where it all starts, like in 86 and 87, and to honor the 5. And we invited all the families to the ceremony. We had a plaque made from the original stone from the wall. And it was quite moving. I had no clue as to what we were doing, but I knew we were researching these 5, and we were honoring these 5. And those 7 brave students of mine got up and spoke about each one of them and presented each family with a plaque. And we decided we were going to do a display in the school on the 5. So I wrote to the government, I think it was Reagan at that time, and asked for a duplicate set of their awards. Well, the Army said yes. The 4 were Army, and the 1 was a Marine.
Let me guess, they said no.
And they said no. And I got a call from a Colonel Sweeney, who used to live in East Chicago. He was in the Pentagon. And he pulled Trent's file out of the basement of the Pentagon. I didn't know they existed there.
Wow.
And he started reading the citation, and he said, whoa, he said, why didn't this guy get the Congressional Medal of Honor? And he goes, oh, I can see now. They never recommended him for the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Wow.
He was recommended for the Navy Cross, and it was boom, just like that, he got it. Normally, I'm telling you from my research and stuff with the Marine Corps, if it's an award of the Navy Cross, it's downgraded to the Silver Star. If it's a Silver Star, it's downgraded to the Bronze Star. But in this case, there was no question he deserved the Navy Cross for what he did. probably, I mean, what I've read, I think he deserved the Congressional Medal of Honor, which we've been fighting to get ever since. Well, the Marine Corps said, well, if the Army's going to do it, we're going to do it too. So they sent out the duplicate set of awards, and we had them all on display, and proudly displayed in the library case, which these things are now in the museum, the Veterans Museum in Cherville. That's what we have. Now, let me talk more about Trent. Wow, what an interesting individual. It's conflicting. I see things on the 8th of May. Let's go back. On February the 7th of 68, he was wounded in action, thrown back into the battle. The 14th of February of 68, he was wounded once again and thrown back in the battle. And then here's where the conflict with dates comes. Some things say the 8th of May and some say the 9th. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. What matters is what he did. We'll say the 9th. On the 9th of May of 1968, William Terrill Trent was moving with his men. He was a machine gunner, an M60 machine gunner, and he was a team leader. They were moving into a cleared area, an area that was clear, and all of a sudden they got hit by a huge enemy force. And instead of retreating, he moved forward, knocking out 2 machine gun emplacements. Then he went after a third, and he had been severely wounded with a hand grenade, and he laid down on the ground, firing the machine gun, bleeding to death, and he eventually died.
Wow.
They recovered his body the next day, and
You go out hard, man.
Right.
they brought his body back. And here's a story that really blows my mind. It is tradition in the military for an escort to come back with the remains. Mm-hmm. And it is a tradition in the South, where the family was from, for one family member to stay in the funeral home all night with the remains. Mm. Well, it was closed casket because they had not recovered him for over a day. Mm-hmm. And his mother, God rest her soul, she tricked the Marine into going and getting a drink of water. She tried to pry the casket open. She didn't believe that was her son.
Man.
So the next morning, his sister, Myrtle, who was, I believe, only 15 years old at that time, was taken into a separate room, and she was the one that identified the remains for the family. Mm. And it just blows. We don't hear of these stories. We don't,
No.
So he was injured 3 times. So he essentially got 3 Purple Hearts.
3 Purple Hearts.
Because it was 3 separate engagements, correct?
Yes.
Jeez, it just kept going back out.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure after the second one, he had a choice.
Oh,
With the Marines.
No.
If
Back then, they just
once you
push
get
out.
3 Purple Hearts, then things change.
Wow. That's
Wow, it takes 3?
They had 3.
It takes
That's
3
right.
Purple
That's
Hearts?
tough, man.
Yeah.
nowadays.
That's crazy, though.
Geez, that's
And
Wow.
in fact, when he went back in the battle, he had his bandages still on.
Oh man.
the things like this. It just makes me think of the valor and the courage of these
Yeah.
troops in this day and
And
age.
think about it. He was, 22, 23 years old?
He's
Yeah.
Just a
19
baby.
years
the
old.
patriotism and that then you think about today when people are like, that's not a lawful order and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, get the heck out of our military then.
Right,
because
exactly.
these people have done so much in for our freedoms and our rights, and it's just amazing to hear these stories. And you try to put yourself and visualize, right, like
Yeah.
in those moments, but would you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you be the same courageous person out there time after time getting hit and going back?
Yeah. I think a lot of people who serve, it's when you're, now like I've said, I've never been in combat, so correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, is you fight for your brothers and sisters.
Yes.
You
Oh,
you fight
yeah.
to protect them.
You don't care about politics at
Exactly.
that point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't care.
That's what I've always was taught. I had
Yeah.
a gunnery sergeant who was a Vietnam vet, and I tell you what, if we had ever gone to combat when I was on active duty, I was going to be right there next to him because he knew his stuff.
I mean,
You
even
feel it.
the fact that he ran towards the gunfire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Most people run away.
Yeah.
If they run,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that's scary. Everything's loud when that stuff's happening.
It's
So
not like
just,
you're wearing earplugs.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what's interesting is that as I researched him in high school and everything, he was just like a laid back, easygoing guy. I've got pictures of him over there at Fish-A-Wild, Wild in Cherville, and he was a long jumper and just
a regular guy.
average guy.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
But kind of
Just a region guy.
I also heard that. I mean, I don't know how true this is. He didn't like going hunting. He did not like to go hunting. And what amazes me? I look at this and this M60 machine gun weighs like what?
Those things are heavy.
26 pounds.
Yeah, that's a crew served weapon.
And he was running with
cruiser?
that. Fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Those things are mean.
They're heavy.
Eating it.
The only one I've seen be able to pick up and fire one is Sylvester Stallone.
Rambo.
Firing it from the hip. You know?
Probably plastic.
Yeah. It fires like 1,200 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
He's-
That barrel gets red hot.
But this kid was incredible. He was incredible, and that's why I think he was my first choice to honor.
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
I mean, the school they keep trying to pound in the Dyer that he lived in Dyer. They have a huge hero there. I mean, yes, we have Emilio Delagarza, other Congressional Medal of Honor recipients and stuff.
Emilio was East Chicago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But Trent from Dyer, I'm like, nobody knew about him until these kids, these high school kids, started the
Yeah.
research.
Amazing.
And the kids can do a lot, and that's why I love teaching.
That's why I commend you, because you're giving a memory to some of these veterans.
Giving a voice to those who
Is
never
there
had
any
one.
family left
Yeah.
in the area?
Yes, Myrtle still lives in Cherville. Her son, I have contact with him. On the 13th of November, we have a big veterans thing at Lake Central. We always invite her to sit up in front with the Gold Star families.
Beautiful.
And
We should make sure that they get a recording of this show
Yeah.
somehow, if they're not actively listening or watching
Right,
on
right.
Facebook. But
I
we
Can
mean,
a
need to make sure that they
civilian
get
put
this.
somebody in for a Medal of Honor? Or it has to be
it has
like
to come through the military
it
chain
has
of
to come
command.
through the
Yeah.
chain of command.
we when we doing the research, I saw documents I'd never seen before. A captain and a sergeant had recommended him for the Navy Cross. Now that was coming out of the Pentagon. We tried for years to find somebody that had been there, and because all they need is a third witness.
Okay.
To upgrade it.
Wow.
And I had one student that worked like a dog trying to find individuals. But, it's been years now, and a lot of these guys have passed away.
You know how sad it is that most of the people that witness this probably
Yeah.
perished out there.
Oh, they're
They
80.
have.
This 80 years old. He's born in 48, so he'd be 82 or
Yeah.
78. I'm not sure. So, but here's the thing. So the way the chain of command works with a lot of these awards, right? The congressional is awarded and actually signed off by the president. The Navy Cross is approved all the way up to the president, but it is signed off by the Navy SecDef or the
Okay.
Navy Secretary. So there's a top military civilian secretary for each branch, Army,
Right.
Navy, and then it goes SecDef, and then it goes president. So, like, literally, like you said, this is the second highest award you can get.
Yeah.
And the president even did sign off on it. If you could find somebody, like you said, a third witness, that'd be incredible.
Oh,
Imagine
that'd
that
be
story
awesome,
we could bring
man.
to the...
And there was just a couple guys. There was one guy, I believe he was in the Army, or was he a Marine, who just got his medal updated to the Medal of Honor. He just got that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
From Vietnam.
I saw that.
Yeah. So it can happen. It's just, you got to have three witnesses.
Yeah.
Did
you
you
know-
ever hear about that TSgt Chapman?
Tech sergeant.
Yeah.
That's the Air Force, right?
Yeah. He was a what do they call it? Controller? Air
Flight controller.
something like that. Yeah.
Like an air traffic controller?
Well, he was the one that was on the ground with that would guide the
Gotcha.
Oh,
Navigating.
artillery and
Calling the
stuff.
planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, artillery.
Oh.
Okay.
And they got into a firefight, and I think it was against the Taliban, and he, the unit bum rushes the bunker, and he gets wounded. He storms it, takes the bunker, but he gets shot in the stomach twice. So they think he's gonna die. The rest of them start getting hurt, so they backed off, and he got left behind, and they thought he was dead. They had drone footage of him continuing to fight for like hours by himself. Yeah,
Wow.
they
Just trying to
gave
stay
him
alive.
2 Medal of Honors because of
What?
what he
Wow,
did.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
I just watched it last night.
Drone footage.
Like, it's insane, the drone footage,
my
because they have it, like they show where like he is, where the Taliban are, how he gets shot. He's fighting one guy hand to hand. Like,
Did he survive?
no,
No, I didn't think so.
yeah,
Okay.
no,
That's,
fast.
That's why.
Wow.
It's tough. It,
you
like,
never leave anybody behind.
like Tom
I mean,
said, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they're KIA,
Yeah.
try to grab them.
Oh, absolutely.
Do what you can. Obviously, mission dictates, right?
True, but-
Losing a whole platoon to grab somebody that's already passed away.
Yeah.
But that's tough,
Yeah.
Who was that one that he couldn't speak and he spit in the medic's face?
That was Garza. That was Garza.
Was it?
Yeah, so he was a part of the dust-off crew and jumped off the helicopter to save troops, right? Dust-off is like the medical helicopter, recovery. And this dude got blown up, shot like 16 times. He saved like 12 lives, got him back to the helicopter, went back out there, grabbed more, and basically came back. And he even got, what's it called?
Medevac?
No, well, yeah, there's medevac, but he got the musket.
Oh, he got bayoneted.
He got bayoneted a couple
Wow.
times too. This dude got blown up by grenades.
Oh my God.
Garza, I know his last name's Garza. But anyways, he was being zipped up. The body bag was being zipped up because they thought he was dead for sure, like no life. And the only way they found out that he wasn't dead before they fully zipped it up was he spit in their face, spit blood.
Oh, my
on 'em.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
a crazy. I did a
amazing.
report on him when I was a buck sergeant
Oh,
here
that's
at
Wow.
basic
amazing.
leadership course.
I love that story.
So
Wow.
so these people, and I guess what we're kind of getting back to with Corporal William Terrill, Bill Trent, right, is that
Lance Corporal.
Lance Corporal. Okay, nice. Well, you got to be correct with that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not with
Oh, with the Marines you do.
the Marines. Yeah, right. Hey, I had walked past a sergeant one time.
Oh.
He had stripes. And I'm just this private Army kid, and I said, good morning, Sergeant. And he said, I'm a gunnery sergeant.
Oh.
I said, Nikes. I said, I'm not talking to these Marines no more. I'm just going to act like I didn't see. I'm going to walk with my head down. But 100% they take that rank seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And don't ever call him sir.
Oh,
I work for a living.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
I work for a living.
But local legends like this need to be talked about. That's a great thing to add to our show. I've been wanting to do this for years, too.
Yeah.
We can have a great segment of local history.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in the area. And
Yeah.
what a great way to honor him and his family and his heritage. And for those students in 82 to start researching why Vietnam wasn't at Lake Central, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
when did Vietnam end?
73, 74?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're talking 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years not updated, nobody knows. I mean, you got World War II.
Well, I
And,
graduated in 82, and I remember watching Vietnam on TV.
Wow.
The big thing out on the news every day was the body count.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's like the scores.
man.
Yeah, like the score, and it was all about body count. That's all you ever heard.
That's wild.
And they were even fudging numbers, but that's a whole other story. But
After this stuff drags out, the U.S. gets desensitized to the numbers.
yeah, oh
Because,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we grew up through the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and those numbers were growing over the years.
Yeah.
And the news just kind of stops reporting them after a while.
Yeah.
Right now, we're looking at the numbers in Iran, but you can already see a little bit of fatigue and desensitization of the public. Right, I go to my 2-week Army camp, right, and I come back and the gas price is 50 cents more. Why? Because it escalated while I was gone,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
wasn't publicly acknowledged as much. So these things kind of start, and all of a sudden it's just a number. And And that's why we have to bring these individuals to life like
Yeah.
we're doing right now. You
Do
know?
we have a caller?
Yeah, we got two.
Two? All right, let's go ahead with the caller. You're in Veterans Views, caller. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, G.I. Joe, G.I. Jane, and citizen soldiers.
Good morning, Ernie.
Speak of the devil.
Ernie, hey, the founding father.
Yeah, I need to be found. I think I'm lost half the time. Anyway, for Tom Clark. Hey, Tom, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Ernie.
You're doing a great job. Tom and I did a little program for the Lake County Veterans Day service at the Government Center, I think last year, and maybe even the year before, and Tom does a great job, everything that he does. I won't keep everybody because I know you got a great show going. As always, you do a wonderful job. And for Tom, I wanted to invite you, and I'll reach out and get in touch with you through Pat O'Donnell. I know you and him are very good friends. And November 6th, Mayor McDermott's Disability Commission is having a lunch and learn for disabled veterans at the Sportsplex in Hammond. And we have speakers in the morning. The cast from Veterans Views will be there.
Cool.
And we'll have various speakers and the Gold Star families and others in mid-morning, and then lunch, and in the afternoon. And but you might want to think about bringing your exhibit or a portion of it and display it for everybody. And so you're invited to be our guest.
Thank you. And we'll look into that. Thank you so much.
You know, get with you. We'll get with you, and it's really exciting because it's all about veterans with disabilities and what we in the city of Hammond have to help them, and all the veterans groups, many of them will be there at the program also, and it's all about assisting veterans with disabilities. As all of you know, sitting there at the table, thousands and thousands come home with hidden disabilities, mental and that type of a thing, as well as physical disabilities. And we can't forget those brave soldiers who have given their lives and everything that you sacrifice when you go into the military, whether you enlist or drafted. But having said that, you all know so well because you've been there and done that. But if there's nothing else, I'll just hang up, be on my way, and continue listening to your program.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ernie.
Thanks, Ernie.
Thank you.
And Ernie knows better than anybody. He was wearing those wool uniforms out in Civil War. Must have been really hot out there. Jeez, we're talking about bayonets, and I mean, he was saying, "Arm your muskets," right? He was loading one bullet at a time. So if anybody
Man.
knows, it's legendary Ernie Dillon, founding father of a 100-year-old Hammond Victory Post.
Legendary.
Legendary.
Legend.
Hey, Tom. So
wanna read some of these?
you, yeah. So thank you for coming in and coming in and starting this with us. You know, it's going to be nice to highlight a veteran every week.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you have something going on today, correct? 3 p.m.
Yes, at 3 p.m. We're doing a podcast with John Ramirez. And John Ramirez is a Vietnam-era veteran. I told him, I said, I think you're Vietnam, because he was in a ship, in the Pacific.
Okay.
But the podcast will be at 3 p.m.
Nice.
Okay.
And then if somebody wanted to watch it, how would they watch it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, hop on to the show. We'll have some tickers underneath where we're speaking about it right now to put you into the right direction.
Is it,
to
the,
go
is it
on
the,
that
on the
show
museum's
today.
website?
Yeah, it's on the Crossroads National Veterans Museum YouTube channel.
Okay.
Okay, we got
All
a
right,
caller.
cool.
We got another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on Veterans Views.
Hey, it's Turk from Hagwish.
Hey,
I got
Turk.
a wonderful Emilio Delagarza story. Let's honor Emilio today. Tommy had his collection at Wicker Park years and years ago, with the traveling wall, and I met Emilio's dad at that wall. I ran through boot camp with Emilio Delagarza.
Oh wow!
Oh, you went to
I
boot
met
camp with him?
Dad. I met Dad at the wall, and looking at Tom's collection at that time, there was an envelope from Emilio addressed to his daughter, and it was a birthday decorated envelope. Okay,
Yes.
so I knew that Emilio had a daughter. Okay,
Yes.
now 20 years later, 18 years later, I'm at Lansing Airport, and I look across the grinder after the pomp and circumstance, and there's Grandpa.
Oh,
And he's got a beautiful young black-haired woman with him, and I know it's Renee, Emilio's daughter. And after the pomp and circumstance, I tell my wife, I've got to go introduce myself. And I walk across the grinder, and I wait my time because there's chit-chat going on. And I step in front of Renee, and I say, "Are you Renee?" And she says, "Yes." And I tell her, I was in the Marine Corps with your daddy. And I hug her. And now I'm stuck. I don't know what else to do, and I'm stuck. And it comes to my mind. And I step out of the embrace, and I look her in the eye, and I tell her, I said, every Marine that was ever in the service with your daddy thinks about him every day.
yes.
And she looked me back in the eye, and she said, I do too. And she hugged me back.
Oh, wow.
And she hugged me back, you guys. Tom,
Yes.
that collection of yours has given so much good feelings to so many people, not just veterans. Families just come and look at a picture and recognize that those are the people that have sacrificed their life for the kind of life that we lead. Tom, G. Willikers, we've talked before. I grew
Yes.
up with Carmel B. Harvey from Hegwish.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking
Yes,
about,
I do.
Tom.
Congressional Medal of Honor.
Somehow or another, I've got two of these Congressional Medal of Honor winners that have traveled through my life.
Wow.
I'm a veteran that has survivor's blessing. I think the four of you guys that I'm looking at right now have survivor's blessing.
Yes.
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 Let's keep on talking about it. Tommy, God bless you, man, and the rest of you guys and gals up there, let's keep talking about the good feelings veterans produce for this country, man. Hey,
Right on.
let's keep having a happy Friday, man, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, happy
Hoorah.
Friday.
Thank you for
Semper Fi.
calling.
Yeah, thanks, man. So you can stay for the rest of the show. Just chime in on
Yeah,
stuff we
love to
talk
have you
about.
if you have time.
Thank you for doing that.
Well, can I say one last thing?
Sure, you can say it. We got another 20 minutes here, Tom.
Well, what happened was, what the last caller really mentioned was the photographs. We have photographs of all of them. The students, they were pretty adamant about this. They said we need to put a face on
Yes.
the names.
Yeah.
The Vietnam Memorial in D.C. is just incredible.
Yes, it is.
But they wanted to put a face on the names and a story, and that's why they enthusiastically went after this. And now we have all 1,621 from the state of Indiana. We have every single photograph of all those that died. So we have not only,
Is that how many died in Vietnam?
no, in Vietnam, 58,142 plus.
From the state?
From this?
No, from the whole country.
Oh,
from,
okay.
from the state of Indiana, 1,621.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
And Lake County, the most casualties.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
The next one would be Marion County, around
Wow.
Indianapolis.
I gotta commend you. You haven't looked down at a piece of paper or nothing this whole
Just
time.
know it.
I
All
know,
of
you
that
just
is in
know
your
it.
head.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
couldn't do that.
I know,
Speaking
right?
of that, I have
It's
to
good to hear
correct
this.
myself.
My wife is sick of me.
Earlier, I had mentioned Garza is our Medal of Honor recipient from East
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
The Roy Benavidez
Oh,
was the
That's
was the
who it is.
dust
Yeah.
off
Okay.
He got out there and he spit in their face.
Oh, I love it. He gave this speech before.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
Phenomenal speech.
Yeah, and we had some legends calling in today. Turk from
Yeah.
Hegwish gave us a ring. He's got some good stories and a lot of history there.
So, speaking of history, we're gonna bring up our sponsors.
Oh, it's a smooth transition. That was
Man, I know. It was going good, then I just muffed it. So we want to thank these people for keeping the show going. We want to thank Calumet Brewery, 6535 Osborne Avenue in Hammond. You can reach them at 219-845-2242. Calumet Park and Funeral Chapel, always supporting our veterans. 2305 West 83rd Avenue in Maryville. Call 219-769-8803 for special veteran savings and complete burial packages. Or call the chapel, 219-736-5840. DAV Chapter 17, they meet the first Thursday at 7 p.m. at VFW Post 802-5820 Holman Avenue in Hammond. DAV Chapter 80, they meet the second Friday at American Legion Post 261, Cedar Lake, 13050 Washington Street. You can reach them at 219-386-2282. Laborers International Union North America 41, 500 Superior Street, Munster, 219-924-7922. Military of the Purple Heart 721 meets the second Thursday at 7 p.m. VFW Post 802-5820 Avenue, Holman Avenue in Hammond. And then I'll do the rest at the end.
So we keep pushing forward. We've come a long way since Vietnam, and there was a caller on the last show. I think it may have been recording, but they were concerned that this Iran conflict may turn out to be a long-standing Vietnam type. Now, I don't think it would be anything close to Vietnam. I would say if you were going to compare it to any war, it would probably be Iraq war.
Yeah.
Although Iraq wasn't nearly as advanced as Iran. I would say that at all costs, we should avoid boots on ground. Some people agree that.
Yes.
Some people say the only way to stop it is boots on ground. I don't know what the real solution is. Any callers out there, give us your opinions. I think this thing is being dragged out, and it's so misinformed to the public because all we've been told is that we've killed the first, second, and third echelon of their leadership, and they're completely decimated, and they've used words like annihilated and just these big descriptive words of how we've completely dominated, yet we are getting shot at constantly over in the Middle East, and over $20 billion of U.S. assets damaged.
Oh, they've destroyed so many assets.
Yeah.
They destroyed complete warehouses full of equipment.
Right.
You know.
Every place that I was hanging out last year, whether it be the UAE, ADAB was Al Dhafra Air Base, whether it be in Saudi or Kuwait or Jordan, have now been directly hit and gone. I mean, the chilies that we had on post is just annihilated. I mean, they hit chilies.
Chilies?
You know, jeez. I mean, if anything, you gotta leave chilies, but forget about it. You know. So the current progression of the military, I think, and going into the new age of warfare, it really starts with a SATCOM communications air defense scheme, because we all at all costs want to prevent boots on ground.
Right.
Now, everybody knows of the F-22 Raptors. Okay, they're Air Force, the most dynamic. It's the Series 6 of their fighter jets. We have now confirmed that there is an F-47 that is on schedule for its first planned flight in 2028. Now, these are billions of dollars already funded to advance the Air Force's from Boeing company. They say that this aircraft is going to revolutionize, going potentially Mach 9s.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Incredible.
Wow.
Right. And I think we're getting to the point of speed that they need some sort of anti-gravity system.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, how are these people's human bodies' ability
the
to
G-force
take right?
Yeah.
is behind that.
Incredible. And have you all seen the new Top Gun Maverick?
No.
Yeah.
So he's like testing the limits of human capabilities. He got to like Mach 10 or 11.
He's like
at the very
passing out.
beginning
Right,
of the
yeah.
and he's like passing out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
aren't supposed to go that fast.
No.
There was, I saw a movie about how it was talking about the space program and how all of the astronauts were test pilots, and how they were testing these aircraft after World War II and Korea. And the one guy had a notepad on his knee, and he would write stuff down that was either going wrong, going right, and he crashed and he passed away. But before he did, he one thing he wrote: heat the oxygen, because he had the oxygen in his mask, and they had never thought of doing that before.
Was the oxygen coming in cold,
Yeah.
burning his lungs or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Wow.
So he said he wrote "heat the oxygen," and they found that, and they're like, "Oh,
That's
so that, that was
yeah.
a turning point for Air Force."
Right.
I remember. Now this was a movie I saw, so I'm hoping it's true. I never did research on it, but I was like, "Wow, that's really incredible." How
Yeah.
they, they never knew what they were going into when they would get into these experimental planes, and pushing them to their limit.
Yeah, and they're pushing the limits all the time. I read an article, and Tom, you might be able to correct me. I read an article about the U.S. having satellite dominance earlier in the 80s, and Russia saying, "Here, hold my beer."
Yeah.
And they basically took a typical jet, like a fighter jet at the time in the 80s. Well, I don't know what they were utilizing. Just go back and watch the first Top Gun, and you'll know. But they shot the satellite from space. Like they literally touched like the atmosphere with that jet before they went into almost anti-gravity, right? Before they were like the pilot passed out, and direct hit the satellite in the outer atmosphere.
Wow.
So like
That's
these
crazy.
satellites that are floating around the world, they're not, I mean, we can hit them,
Yeah.
and that's all it takes. And with the series of communications and GPS and Wi-Fi or whatever, the 5G being utilized in warfare today, the key is they're getting their source of power and their source of connection from satellites.
Who's the one that created the satellite that can attack other satellites? What country was that?
Well,
We talked
the
about
enemy does have killer satellites.
Yeah,
Like,
was it China or
well, I
Russia?
know we were always told that Russia had killer satellites that could knock out our satellites. And that's where you get into this boots on the ground stuff.
Yeah.
Because believe me, from Afghanistan, you can have all this super technology, but when you get boots on the ground, as you know, from what you experienced in Iraq, they're on an even playing field.
Yeah.
You know,
They're right.
That's what was scary. I mean, I don't care what kind of technology, super technology. When you're face to face, you're in towns or with the rockets and stuff. That's why it's scary about boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And sadly, that's the only way to sniff out a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
only way to stop them from tearing things apart from the inside.
Yeah.
Is getting in there.
Yeah.
And that, obviously you don't want to blow away a bunch of civilians.
No.
That's just not
No.
the answer.
No, and now we have the drones, we have AI, and I think it was someplace in Europe. I want to say Germany, but I could be wrong. That had the first drone that was powered by AI, and
Turkey.
the AI made the decision on whether to fire or not, and they fired.
It's Turkey. They
Was it
already have
Turkey?
like
Okay.
over 30 confirmed kills
Yeah.
Wow.
with their AI powered.
I feel like
drones.
one of you guys told me that before.
Yeah.
And I was,
Yeah, we've talked about
I
it
was
on the
shocked
show.
then
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we've talked about that before,
That's
and that just
crazy.
blows my mind. That
And Turkey's not like right now, it's not really a war torn country. I mean, it's history, of course,
Yeah.
but right now you go to Turkey, it's pretty nice.
So
Yeah.
I saw the United States government is contracted, I forgot who, to make autonomous soldiers.
yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think it's with General Dynamics, but
I mean, there's no accountability with that.
no.
I mean,
I
these
know there'll be AI as well.
Yeah.
I was like, did these people not see the movie Terminator?
Yeah.
Because they
it's
kind
on
of
mine.
look like that.
Yeah, they did.
And I was just like, look at that.
Well, you've seen the Tesla robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he plans on by 2028 putting them out for sale at $20,000 a piece, which is
Oh, I'll take two.
essentially pretty affordable, and anticipates to compete with China. China has a plan
Mm-hmm.
by 2030 to have 10,000 humanoid service robots for every million people in the population. 10,000 to a million.
Man.
So any of you math gurus out there, that's like 1%.
You want to talk
right?
about
Yeah.
unlawful orders?
Yeah, right?
Well, you're
Yeah.
gonna have
Well,
robots
China's
that can do
having a
whatever they
real,
want.
real
like-
population issue right now.
Yeah.
So that's a part of their solution.
because they had their one child policy for so long.
Yeah.
And then you've got like in RoboCop where the robot, takes over and it's like, killing people because a third attempt, disarm or whatever it
Right.
was. And the person did, and then they shot him anyway.
Well, that's the reality
You know.
is like this Turkish fleet of drones that's got confirmed kills already.
Yeah.
How do they know? What if you were wearing the wrong uniform, or what if the color got knocked out on its camera and it's just friendly fire?
I would hope there'd be fail safes, but we all know how well that works.
And everybody's now, I think, at this point, seen. If you haven't, you need to watch some of the Ukrainian war videos of those soldiers trenched in.
my
Those soldiers are
God.
trenched in for months at a time because it's like no man's land. It's like a World War II no man's
Doesn't it-
land.
Yeah.
These
Doesn't
drones
it-
are constantly flying around.
Doesn't it feel like a World War I battlefield where they're just stuck in one spot?
Yeah.
Because
And you
those
can't
drones-
cross. If you cross, the drones are going to get you.
Those
Like,
drones are crazy.
that's where we don't want to be.
No.
No, not
know?
at all. We'll lose way too many people for that. And
And you know what? A drone costs. Here's the thing, right? So the Navy started utilizing this laser on their ships.
Oh, yeah,
Right? And
yeah.
we talked about this. And it's highly effective against drones.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not very expensive.
Right.
Right? To shoot the lasers. Or to utilize microwave technology and burn them out of the sky. Obviously, that's pretty volatile for the environment or for anybody around operating them. But these lasers, they're initially expensive to make, but they're not expensive to reload. Okay, so if you're utilizing what we were, it definitely during my time, probably even somewhat in your time for air defense, Patriot missiles. Okay, you got to set up these PAT sites.
Right.
You got to bring in all of the T-walls, all of the cement, all of the logistics to get everything set up to create these barriers of suppressant to shoot down a $40 drone.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what a Patriot missile costs?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like $10,000 a round,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So am I going to use a $10,000 round to shoot a $40 drone, and this $40 drone is capable of killing 5 of my soldiers because it's got a grenade on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there needs to be advancements in the way that we take these fleets out.
Right.
In that laser, I think that the Navy's been utilizing. That's why they haven't been able to get to any of the ships
Yeah.
because they've
that-
got that tech
right.
on them.
That's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But for these countries to have it all across their borders, I would assume is
Yeah. Now they're talking about this Iron Dome, which I got to do some research
the
on.
Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're still utilizing essentially rockets to create that.
Yeah, and I remember during the first Gulf War, you had the Iraq was shooting all these Scud missiles, they were called, and we had what we called the Scud busters, and they took down most of them because they weren't very accurate.
Right.
You never knew where they were going to land, basically.
It's amazing the 20 years of technology, what it can do, right? Our civilization has advanced more in the last 100 years than the entire history of the world.
Yeah,
In the last 100
Right.
years. I think about where we were 100 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't even they didn't have airplanes in World War One.
right.
In was it 1919 when that ended or so? And now
They just came up with helicopters in what, 50s?
Vietnam, yeah.
You know,
well,
60s?
Korea.
Vietnam was the first war, right? They didn't
Yeah.
have them in Korea.
Well, they had 'em in
they
Korea.
one-
They had
yeah.
they had helicopters at the end of World War II. Very rare though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then Korea, big time. and
Yeah.
Oh,
Vietnam,
wow.
holy
Yeah.
mackerel.
Helicopters in World War II.
Vietnam was the heyday
Yeah,
of helicopters.
the Germans actually had helicopters on some of their U-boats
Wow.
that they could bring out and launch from their U-boats.
Wow.
Oh my God. One day we'll talk about this conspiracy theory that Hitler actually escaped to Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now he lives at your house. No.
But just remember, all your weapons are made by the lowest bidder.
Yeah.
Or the most politically correct, or the most politically connected defense contractor.
Tell you what, the
That's a fact.
M4s that we could probably use an upgrade. They get jammed quite a bit. when you can take an AK that's been sitting in a pond for a month, pull it out and shoot rounds through it.
How do they work in the
know?
sand?
Not good.
No, I didn't
No,
think so.
the rounds get caught up.
Caught
quick.
up in
as soon
the-
as you
yeah.
put that muzzle, or as soon as you put your clip in the dirt, and you get dirt in those rounds, it's stuck
Forget
in a
it.
chamber.
Yeah.
You're slapping, pulling, discharging whatever you can, pull a round out to get the next round.
Yeah.
I will say that we are advancing in our physical fitness, and there's now a new Army combat test
Okay.
for combat MOS specific, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And then we've also advanced our ranges. So instead of just doing a standing, a kneeling, and then a prone, we actually have different levels within a shooting board that we do, like a front kneel, and then your quick recharge, like your
Like a combat reload?
exactly combat reloads. Boom, you gotta hit it in the same cipher, and it's more time. There's more than one or two targets that pop up now at the same time. You'll get three. Right? It's
Wow.
it's very advanced, and I find it to be way more fun. But if you're not good,
Yeah.
you're gonna fail.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like prior to, when it was just standing, kneeling, and in the prone, I would usually hit like a 34, 35. I think my highest was like a 37.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm
good?
37 is expert.
Okay.
34 sharpshooter, and anything below 28 is marksman. So you
Okay.
have to hit 24 to
I don't want
pass
to brag,
23.
but I was expert.
Oh yeah,
In
expert.
M4, M9, and 240 Bravo.
But that's what gives the U.S. military such a great advantage, is we don't focus on the AK shooting from the hip. Right? They may be durable, but they're not accurate.
Right.
Our M4, I can put one in your chest from 300 meters, and I'm a trained.
Yeah. Plus, our training
You know.
is different. I mean, we train from the bottom up and the top down. So if the sergeant falls on the field, the corporal, the lance corporal can step up and take
right.
over.
Yeah.
So
Leadership.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of other countries don't do that. If the leader's taken out, they just run around like chickens with their heads cut off. They don't know what to do.
In Russia, if the O grade goes down, they're running.
That's
They're
right.
gonna flee. They don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
Because if the O grade catches you trying to run, they shoot you in the back.
Yeah. Right.
The O grades are the only one making any money. Everybody else is starving. But you see the logistical problem with Russia. They can't get enough to the front lines.
No.
They don't have the sustainment. That's why George Washington created the quartermaster division, because he was a student of history, a student of Romans, and their ability to continue to dominate was because they were feeding supply to the front troops.
Yep. And that's I think that's the key to winning, in my opinion, to winning any war is you have to have logistics. You have to have good logistics.
Yeah.
You have to be able to resupply your troops on the front line, whether it's food, bullets, guns, whatever it is.
Yeah, beans and bullets.
Yeah.
Just like what Patton say. He said, "I don't care if my soldiers eat their belts, as long as
Yeah.
my tanks have fuel."
Fuel.
But yeah, so that's something that I kind of get, because I'm a logistician, and we were out there and we were doing.
You're what?
I'm a logistics officer.
Oh,
for
okay,
the
okay,
Army,
okay.
yeah. And so we're out there and we're doing these exercises, and I'm focusing on clean water and their water hippos. I'm focusing on class 5, bullets, right? I'm focused on beans in class 1 with food rations. And so all the classes of supply, we're trying to get out to the forward troops. So I was out there at about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, because there were some troops that filled some water jugs from some nasty old pipe that they were like out there in the middle of the woods. And you could drive for an hour through our training site to get back into some of these places. Wow. And we're supporting infantry, right? Because Indiana's got the 38th Infantry Division. There's a lot of infantry battalions. So I go out there to test this water buffalo. And I'm this logistician. I'm looking like I've never been a day in the field in my life, right? And all these infantry guys come marching out of the woods, and they are hardcore, right? I'm like, there's no way I would do this. But they're sweating their butts off. It's 90 degrees at 11:30 at night. They all got face paint on. They've got gear, full battle rattle. They're foot marching for the next objective, because there's bad guys out there.
Yeah.
So they're moving quietly, and And of course, I'm testing the water like, they're like, who's this chump, you know? And I'm thinking like, man, I'm glad I'm not those guys. In a way, so you kind of, when you're in the logistics world, it's very important to make sure they get what they need.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
But sometimes you forget what they're going through.
Yeah.
These men and women out there on the front, and there was women in these infantry platoons that I
Wow.
was watching just a week ago. And it is amazing to see. So.
But you're very right. You know, if we don't have logistics, we don't have the support, and getting materials to a foreign country is not always easy.
Oh, it's super hard, especially when they've attacked all of our stable bases
Yeah.
out there. Like I said, $20 billion of damage. And really, one of our biggest allies throughout the last 30 years since Desert Storm has been Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and we had such a huge presence there. And I wonder, moving forward, and you've heard whispers of this in Saudi Arabia, maybe Iran would stop shooting at us if the Americans weren't here. You know, so Iran's goal is to not totally debilitate the U.S., but to debilitate
But
the
didn't Iran?
reputation of if they're in your country,
Yeah.
then we're gonna mess with you.
Yeah. Well, didn't they bomb one of, was it Kuwait or Saudi's water desalination plants? I
That was
believe?
UAE.
That was
I think.
UAE. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
and UAE is a big partner. Actually, UAE has been training in America down in Louisiana, Fort Polk.
Oh.
They go with a 1 month training cycle. It's called
hated Fort
JRTC.
I hated Fort Polk.
It's terrible down there.
Man, it's horrible.
But
down
an
there.
entire, actually,
It's so muggy and
it's not
bugs.
a historic moment because other militaries have fallen under our command during wartime, but it is for the Middle East a pretty big deal because they're actually training battalions in the UAE to fall under U.S. command,
Really?
which is kind of a cool thing.
I used
That's
to-
public knowledge. I'm not sharing anything.
I used to work with a guy who was in Afghanistan and training Iraqis, and he had a few choice words to say about how they didn't want to follow orders. They didn't want to,
gosh.
you know, they're like he was like they're so stupid. But
And it's just a lack of
it's a lack of
discipline. There's
lack
no
of discipline.
patriotism. There's no patriotism.
No, they're not loyal to their
No.
country like we are.
That's one thing it took us a long time to understand. Afghanistan is just not one people. It's,
No.
Right.
It's tribes here,
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and whatever. You know.
And if Russia couldn't take them, and you know,
Yeah.
then here we come thinking, yeah, well, we can do it. Hold my beer and watch this. You
Yeah.
know, and we didn't do it either.
Yeah.
Look, the Taliban's
It's a
right back
lost
in charge
cause.
now.
Right.
I mean, Iran's
They're
not
the government
dumb.
now.
They're
Yeah.
looking at history, and they know if they just wait us out.
Yep.
You know?
We got war fatigue already in this country. You know, we spent 20 years in the Middle East already.
The reality is that some of these countries absolutely need us,
Yes.
or they would be taken
They
over.
need our
And
money.
I'll tell you a short story because we're about ready to get out of here. Did we finish our?
Oh, you want to finish that
You want me
first?
to finish it
Yeah,
first?
might as well finish it now, and then I'll.
Okay, so we want to thank Family Dental Care. Veterans receive free exams, x-rays, cleanings, and 10% discount on all other services. 8 convenient Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana locations, Chicago's east and south sides, Calumet City, Crestwood, and Oak Lawn. You can reach them at 219-804-9329. Ron J. Pressmer Insurance Company for all your insurance needs, auto, home, life, health, business, and more. 219-844-0103. Kuziak Construction, 1235 Summer Street in Hammond, 219-923-3007. Heroes Helping Heroes, Northwest Indiana, www.heroeshelpingheroes.in.
Bridge tow cars. Heroes helping heroes.
You can reach them at 219-670-2501 and White Oak Home Care, 9800 Connecticut Drive, Crown Point, 219-999-5869 or www.whiteoakhomecare.com.
Yeah, we had them guys on the show last week. That's a really good company.
Yeah.
They do a lot for veterans,
Great.
and they can help people. They help people walk through the Medicare, Medicaid, and the VA
Beautiful.
process to get in-home health care.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
so they're
That's absolutely necessary. I wish I would have been here to.
They're very knowledgeable when it comes to that stuff. So if you need it, give them. And they said, start it now, early as opposed to later,
Yeah.
because it takes so long to
Yeah.
go through the process.
course.
A lot of times, you know.
You
So
got it. Yes, you're coming into that 65 age when you're 60.
Hey.
64 and a half. right. So I'll leave this last story to your all's opinion here. And the reason why I truly believe that some of these Middle East countries really need the U.S. military just so that they don't get overtaken and overthrown. All right. And the true fact is that they're untrained. They don't have the patriotism that we have. They don't have the war experience and the battle experience that we've been through. So, quick example, and I won't name names because I don't want to say anything that my security clearance wouldn't allow me to say. But I will say this. We were in a training exercise, and we were in a Middle Eastern country that we have very great relations with. They are the least trained and the least disciplined military force I've ever seen in my life. We were doing a joint strategic tank movement. So we had our Abrams out there, and they have, I forget what they're called, but they shoot 40 millimeters. They're about half the size of an Abram.
Okay.
They're like big dune buggies, but they shoot the same size round. So they're a lot faster, and they built them that way to go through the same.
How can I get one of those?
Right.
Right.
So we're rehearsing, and our tank operators and all that are rehearsing movements because we're shooting live rounds for generals. Okay, we've got a couple, all the way up to a 2-star combatant.
So it's like a dog and pony show kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we got their military force. We have our military force in a lot of our ranks. And as a logistician, I've been setting this up for a long time with movement of VIX and fuel and ammo and all that stuff, getting it all planned and set up in this area of operation. Well, they don't want to rehearse the foreign military, and we're rehearsing.
Wow.
And we're basically like, you need to rehearse because although we've done this for a couple of days, you need to give it a dry run before we go out there. And they didn't. They're like, no, we got it. We know what we're doing.
Wow.
And so we were out there, and mind you, we're swooping Abrams. The U.S. is doing their thing. We didn't intermingle the militaries. We kind of almost had them on two separate sides. So the Abrams are doing their things, and we're shooting targets downrange with live 40 millimeter rounds. And they're attempting to do the same thing.
Okay.
But on their, because they didn't rehearse, one of them flanked the other.
Ooh.
Put a live round into them.
Oh.
Five of them hit, 4 dead. And the fifth, the last I heard, was critical condition. They were pulling him out of there.
Wow.
Yep, smoked him. So, and that's not the first time they're just, I think they just really need our help. You know, and it's because the discipline levels, the safety level, I don't know if it's a value of life thing. Because I tell you, we're, you know, obviously in the military, we're all about like and make sure that we don't kill each other.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And safety first.
Right.
Always. Everybody's got the right to, hey, ceasefire.
Fields of fire, that whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not the same culture. And I tell you what, it was tough because 4 of those people, like I had worked with.
Wow.
You know, they speak a different language. They're from a different country, but we were working together.
Right. Right.
And now they're gone.
Wow.
And they got to go to their families, and because of an exercise that they didn't want to dry run. So I say all of that just to say that there is a reason we are there, and some of it is for their own protection, right? It's not always that the U.S. has such great aspirations of world domination. It's like these are our allies.
Right.
And we're trying to help them, right? And of course, we get a little bit of kickback for it.
Yeah. Well, you know, there was comments made during the first Gulf Wars. Why should we send our people? And I think it came from the country that you may or may not be talking about. Why should we send our people to fight when the Americans will do it for us?
Yeah.
You know, so that put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. To put it
And
lightly.
it's just the age-old concept of why do we have to do it?
Yeah.
Right? Why is my tax dollars going
You know, and
to
I think you brought up a good point about world domination because after World War II, we could have taken over Japan. We could have taken over Germany, but we chose not to.
Right.
You know, we rebuilt them, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's we're not trying to dominate the world, but on the other hand, I don't think we should be the world's police either.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole and.
Yeah, more to talk about next time.
Yeah.
I love to get more in depth on that and get some callers on their opinions. But we're going to go ahead, final round here. I know we started a couple minutes late, but we appreciate the full hour here. 0900 every Friday morning, WJOB Veterans Views Radio Show, 12:30 a.m., 104.7 FM. We are all veterans, and we have all served the country in different facets. We love to be here every week. Any final words from Commander Ostrander?
There's just a couple of things coming up in September. One of them is called A Piece of My Heart. It's the true story of 6 women who served in Vietnam. It's first one is September 12th at 7 p.m. at the American Legion Post 451 in Michigan City. And the second one is September 20th at 2 p.m. at the American Legion Post 80 in Whiting. And then we have the 27th annual Victory for Veterans Memorial Ride. It's on September 27th, starting an hour earlier this year. It's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if you are a motorcycle rider and you haven't participated in this event, you are missing out.
It's epic.
It is amazing because it's a lead ride. The police block all the crossings, so you don't really have to stop. And it's an amazing ride.
Yeah.
I've done it a couple times, and it's just amazing. It's at Wicker Park, so sign up for that. And there's also a veteran who was in a very bad motorcycle accident out in, I believe it was Oklahoma.
Yeah,
And
he's
his
a Griffith
family,
resident.
he's from the region. And he's been in a coma for almost 3 months now. Marine. His name is Jim Paluch. And his family's trying to raise money because now his family has no income.
Yeah, and he's got kids.
And he's got 5 kids. Yeah.
He's as little as 2 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he has his family's having a spaghetti dinner fundraiser, and that is Friday on September 11th.
He's in a coma still.
Yeah, he's still in a coma since May.
Yeah, so Post 66 in Griffith's doing a spaghetti dinner.
Yep.
We need everybody to get to that.
Yep.
I guarantee you I'll be there volunteering and making spaghetti and doing what I can as the vice commander of Post 66. But it's
from 4 to 7.
This is huge. Friday, September 11th.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is something that the region needs to get together and give. And, I'll give a non-disclosed donation.
Absolutely.
And write them a check. Like, hey, I don't even care if they know who it's from.
Yeah, I don't either.
This is a point that as a community we need to come together and help this Marine veteran and his family, because this is a very sad
And this is what we do. We
here.
take care of each other, and we help each other. And, this family needs our help. Yep. And I know his mom is working with a couple different organizations to get his medical care paid for. It's a big long thing. So I don't want to go.
I hope God willing, he wakes up. They anticipate him waking up. When he does, hopefully he's all got his P's and Q's.
Yeah, because they said that they just reattached part of his skull that they had to remove so his brain could expand. Yeah, because if your brain expands inside your cranium there, it pushes down on your brainstem, and that's where your heartbeat, your breathing, and all the things you do without thinking about it are located. So they have to remove part of your head to let your brain expand.
Be careful out there on motorcycles.
Yes, please.
We just talked about the motorcycle ride. There's a lot of motorcyclists out there.
Yep.
Well, check your blind spots. Half the accidents are not from the actual motorcycle driver themselves. It's from cars around them that aren't paying attention.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've almost gotten hit a couple times. So,
Steve, what do you got?
So the DAV has their fundraiser, the Forget Me Not, starting. So we'll be at different tracks throughout August and September. So if you see us, donate.
Do you know where you're going to be tomorrow or today? Or?
Tomorrow we will be at the Strax in Maryville on Broadway.
Okay.
And then next week we will be in Schererville.
Is it going to be a roundup thing, or be like boots?
No,
on
yeah.
ground?
We'll have a table set up,
okay.
and then people come up. We give them a little flower. They donate.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Where's John at today?
John is going to be in Valpo.
And that's today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He'll be in Valpo
DAV.
today and Plymouth tomorrow.
Valpo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a far one this week. But
Cool.
Okay.
And Tom, any final words?
Make sure you come to the DAV walk in Schererville, 22nd, right?
yes, good job. Thank you, Tom. I forgot about that. August 22nd.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
August 22nd?
August 22nd at the Schererville Police Station. We have, we call it DAV Walk. And what we do is we honor the people that are memorized there. Mm-hmm. And then, because there's a memorial there, then we walk to the 9/11 Memorial where they have an actual I-beam from one of the towers.
Wow.
And then we walk to Reeder Park where we have lunch.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
And you walk this? Mm-hmm. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I don't know if
You
I'll
may
be
not be able to walk this if you
right?
need
I don't know if I'll be walking it, but we'll see.
I'll push you.
Yeah, that's right. He's walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back here 0900 next week. And we always love to say our hoorah on the way
Hoorah.
out.
Hoorah.
Right. Good night, Chesty, wherever you are.
Oh, gee.